Beware of replicated food. Hello again, thank you for being here with me once more. I hope you are all doing very well. I am Mari Swaruu. If you are listening to this YouTube channel, you probably already know about the general dangers of processed food and its additives and preservatives, such as monosodium glutamate, for example, which is found in more and more foods worldwide. This one is especially toxic as it is a hormonal disruptor that attacks testosterone especially. It also attacks and dissolves dendritic myelin in neurons, which is an insulating layer, or sheath, that forms around the axon of neurons and also around all the nerves in the body, especially those found in the brain and spinal cord. It is composed of protein and fatty substances. The myelin sheath allows chemical electrical impulses to be transmitted quickly and efficiently along the neurons, therefore nerves as well. And it is added to food as a flavor enhancer, exaggerator, and as a preservative. All processed food is full of all kinds of added substances with names that are impossible to pronounce. And this is a clue for you because if you cannot read and say its name, then it is a toxin and you don't want to eat it. But even if food additives are used worldwide, some nations are worse than others, being that the two worst places with the most chemically contaminated processed food, which has all kinds of substances that are forbidden in most of the rest of the world, are Japan as number 1, and China as number 2. Yes, Japan is worse than China because it was there where food conservatives and flavor enhancers were invented, and in that country, they are all legal to use. And then, the next worst place for processed food is China, because it is there where the biggest worldwide volume of processed food is made, and what they have in mind is profit and more profit, with no consideration for anything alive, including humans. The cabal controls just about every country on Earth, including those that apparently are antagonistic to each other, as that is only theater for the people, and for geoengineering and population control. The idea and the concept of nations are for the people, not for the ruling class which travels to, and around them all, because borders don't exist for them. And one of the most known agendas of the cabal is to reduce the number of people on the planet, and this is no longer a conspiracy theory because their puppet politicians openly say it in public. Please look for this on the news, or other YouTube channels because I don't want to contaminate mine with the names of those soulless people. So besides mere profit, the reason why all those additives are placed in food, is to keep the population sick. Consuming that kind of processed food causes an accelerated degenerative state in the human body that in turn also causes innumerable health problems which the general population do not relate to those additives and that kind of food as they act in a progressive and accumulative manner. The people simply don't, or won't connect the dots, and this is of course also for the benefit of the official bad health industry that also only has profit in mind, as well as population reduction and control. This brings us to a deeper level of the processed food problem, synthetic food. The worldwide market is full of edible things that mimic real food, and taste good because of all the artificial flavors and enhancers they are filled with. They are a base empty, texture substance to which artificial flavor is added, so it tastes like food but that not only does not have any nutritional value, in fact, it has a negative nutritional value, because it gives you nothing and goes against your health, worsening it. As an example of this, it is now quite known that much of the rice that comes from China is not even real rice because it is made of plastic, but this is just one example of innumerable ones. And the most affected part of the processed foods out there are fast food in general and junk food, including candy, where they either sell food with an excess of sugar which is bad enough, or they sell candy with no sugar as if that was something good. because the artificial sweeteners that are used have even worse effects over the health of the population than sugar itself, with few exceptions. But besides all the problems with processed food I've mentioned above, there is another one that apparently no one else is mentioning, and I must make you aware of it. Replicated food. And by replicated food, I don't mean artificial food, such as plastic rice. I mean food that was created using a replicator machine such as the one many star races use for other purposes. It is food that was placed in a machine that scans the original, and then prints as many copies as wanted. This is a technology that is officially above what is officially found on Earth, yet large processed food companies are using it more and more, especially in China, but it is extending to other places in the world, including the West. As usual, the ones in power don't tell the people what level of technology they really are at, or have. A replicator machine is a very useful tool, especially for starships in deep space, as it can replicate, or copy spare parts, or anything else that is needed to keep a ship in running order, or to be able to function far from home. The problem is that when food is replicated, the copy is not a perfect chemical clone of the original one, so replicating food results in a toxic, non-nutritive compound that is useless. This is because the replication process is not perfect. A replicator machine has only a limited amount of base molecular elements to work with, where the computer will place the one which is best suitable for each structure being copied. A replicator cannot copy everything in the periodic table of elements, as known on Earth. In other words, a replicator machine only has a limited set of materials with which to work, and some replicator machines are better than others, and the more materials and elements each model can handle determines its capacity and efficiency. When you replicate a pair of shoes, the machine will molecularly scan their structure and materials first and then will print the copy, or copies in another part of the machine. The computer will do its best to place each material where it goes based on the original, but when that original has an element that is not found in its base material inventory, it will then replace it with the next best one available. I've noticed that when replicating something sometimes they smell different from the original, and this is because although it looks the same, and serves the same purpose, that object is not made of the exact materials of the original. When you replicate a pair of shoes, this non-exact material problem represents no issues, and it causes no harm. But in the case of food, things are very different, because food is a very complex structure filled with innumerable different chemical, organic and biological components, which the replicator machine cannot copy, and will only replace them with whatever is in its inventory, usually texturized latex or styrene plastic. So, when you replicate food, the copy will look like the original, but will not have any of its nutritional value. Replicator machines are made and designed for specific purposes, such as large engineering machines for engine components which need specific materials and tolerances to stress and heat, but due to the complexity of food, they cannot be made to successfully copy all the organic materials, the nutrients. Even the best replicator machines will not be able to copy food well, because of another problem as well. The molecular structure of many nutrients such as vitamins and amino acids tend to be printed inversely, as a mirror image version of the original, rendering them useless for the biological body that will consume them. One example of this molecular inversion when copied or duplicated in any way, with a replicator machine or in a laboratory, is vitamin C. Its synthetic version is useless. But replicator machines that are designed and used to copy processed junk food can copy their empty chemical components, and all the conservatives, enhancers, and artificial flavors very well, and are used by large companies on Earth nowadays, especially those who do not have to comply with quality checkers and sanitation norms, or that have been granted immunity by the ones on power. Food is being replicated on Earth, not only in the basic supposedly edible form to later be packaged and sold. Food is also being replicated directly with, and in the jar or package they will be sold in. This means that a full ready-to-be-shipped package is placed inside the replicator machines, and more will come out at the other end, and this includes, for example, 6 packs of marmalade jars in their final shipping package, and many other similar items. A way to spot this replicated food is when it is sold on a large scale with outrageously low prices while being far from their expiration dates, and in large supermarkets with transnational names. Think about this, for example, a 6-pack of marmalade jars that is 6 months or more away from their expiring date, and despite the store having months to sell it with a good profit, they place the retail price so low that it doesn't even cover the value of the contents, the package, the glass or plastic jars, and the shipping. Although I don't doubt that there may be other reasons for placing the retail price that low, but if you don't know that specific food well, and you don't know the reason why its retail price is that low, it is better to think twice about buying that kind of food, that is basically a caricature of the real thing, and highly toxic. Replicated food has no labels. It is impossible to determine if it has been replicated or not without a full laboratory test, and it is being found each time more often in retail stores, especially the large ones that sell in volume. It is best to stay away from processed food of all kinds, replicated or not. You cannot know what is really in the jar or package, and it does not benefit your health in any way. Even though it tastes good while you eat it, it will feel bad a few minutes afterwards, and even worse, it will progressively damage your health down the road. Stay strong out there, dear star seeds and smart waken people. Your efforts, and your mere existence is extremely valuable. Thank you for watching my video, and for liking and subscribing for more. I appreciate it a lot. And I hope to see you here next time. Be very well, and take care. With much love. Your friend, Mari Swaruu.